Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And I gotta say, for the first time ever, no idea how to do this video, no idea how to introduce the video. This is like one of the most special days of my life, I guess. I mean, it has to be. This is the day where I am announcing the public beta of a project that I've spent the last 3 years of my life dedicated to. But it's also a project that has profoundly and maybe even completely altered the trajectory of the rest of my life. It's insane. I cannot describe how big this project is and how special this moment is that I get to finally invite all of you to come and join me and the wonderful, just cozy, warm community of people who are already there. We've been testing this for months now. It's crazy. I have so much to show you and tell you about today, so I will keep this introduction very short by my standards. And I just want to say really quickly, first of all, thank you all who have been here for some time now, because there is no way in the world that I would have had the audacity to even try building Journaly if it weren't for the positive comments and all the support I got on my YouTube channel for years before this. That just, like, it showed me that even if it's just one person, 5 people, 10 people, I can have a positive impact on the world, however big or large, within the scope of my teeny tiny life. Like, it's worthwhile doing these things, and that is what gave me the, I don't know how to call it, like, because maybe it's the drive, it's the confidence in myself that I could do something like this. And so even if this fails, the fact is that, like, this has changed my life profoundly, and ultimately it's all because of the support and the response I got from many of you earlier on while I was just trying to make videos to help all of you learn languages. And so really quick, before I show you the actual app, just want to do a very quick explanation of what it is. So if you're new here, Journaly is a platform that is centered around journaling in a language that you are learning, but it's much more than that. At its core, and the sort of first part, it's that writing, I think, is the most undervalued, underutilized activity in language learning. You know, writing is an incredibly powerful way to boost all of your language learning skills. It's not just about writing. You know, when you write, it is an opportunity to think about language that you are producing in a way that you can't when you're speaking in a sort of real conversation. It's a chance for you to think a couple times through these sentences that you're producing and to craft beautiful sentences in the language that you're learning. But it's also an amazing, unparalleled opportunity to get feedback, detailed feedback from others. And that's the second part of Journaly. It's about posting things that you write, and then having the opportunity to connect with other native speakers or advanced speakers and get feedback on the things that you write. But then it's about building a sophisticated and a pleasant user experience that allows you to collect that feedback and process it and store it and access it, making it pleasant for the person giving the feedback to do so. But then the third and final level of what is really at the core of Journaly, it's changing the world of community building around learning languages. And by that, I mean building communities on an intrinsic level. So it's about going deeper than the just very surface level, utilitarian, transactional level that I think most platforms operate on, right? Where it's, Susie wants some feedback on her language, so she goes to this app just to get feedback, and then she goes home. No, Journaly is about going deeper than that to the sort of intrinsic level of why humans want to connect with each other, right? Journaly is about saying, it's not just that Joe is writing in French, it's that Joe's writing in French about rock climbing, and also about cuisine, specifically maybe French cuisine, right? And then Pierre happens to be addicted to rock climbing and loves cooking, right? And then maybe there's an entire community of people who don't only have a language match, right? Where Joe is learning French, Pierre is learning English, boom. No, it's that these are people who are a people match, right? And so if we can provide a platform where it is easy and pleasant and intuitive to connect with people who you would like to talk to as human beings, people who you would just like to improve their lives, right, in some capacity, and where learning languages and sharing our own language knowledge, right, sharing that piece of ourselves, that just becomes a vehicle for connecting with other people and developing genuine friendships and connections. And like I said, cultivating this genuine desire to just better other people's lives through this wonderful activity of learning languages. And so with that, I'm gonna grab a sip of my coffee. This is like the 5th take of this video, so it's depleting, but I still have a little bit left in there. Now I'm gonna just cut this and give you a look at what you can expect when you go over to journaly.com right after this video. Cheers. Okay, so if we come to our browser and go to journaly.com, we can see that I'm automatically redirected to the dashboard because I'm already logged in. So if you're new to Journaly, you'll of course sign up on the homepage. And as we get here, the first thing you'll notice is that there's already a flourishing community on the Journaly platform because we've been testing this now for months. We did a 3-month, very patient alpha testing period where we had up to 10 or 15 people testing the app rigorously. I was up till like 2 in the morning, coding new features, fixing bugs, sending out daily emails. It was an incredibly intense, but a really wonderful period of time. And then we've had 700 and almost 1,000 people now who have been testing it for the last 2 months in a closed beta. So we already have a really rich community. And if we click on this drop down for languages, the first thing you'll see is these are all the languages that we already have content with, right? So people have written 9 posts in Korean, 2 in Arabic, 2 in Azerbaijani. We have Chamorro, Chechen, Dutch. Sorry, this is German, this is Danish, English, Spanish, Esperanto. We have Icelandic, Irish, Klingon, like this is just so much content. Tokipona, Romanian, Persian. And as you can see here, we're currently converting everything from being the English name to displaying languages in their native name. And that's sort of a process we're going through right now. But so that's the first and foremost thing. And already you can see we also have a topic filter, right? So these are all the topics people have written about. And it's a really amazing array of content. Even now, we have everything from science, travel, TV shows, weather, but also linguistics, literature, love, mindfulness. We have things like cognitive science, comedy, creativity, diet. Like it is incredible. Architecture. I love it. Fantasy, fiction. This is why I say I think that Journaly can really change the world of how we build communities around learning languages. And why I said we do that at the intrinsic level of interest. It's because we don't just collect data on what languages people are learning and what languages they speak. We also, for every single post, we collect what are the topics, right? And so in the future, if you go to settings, you'll see that you can, first of all, you can select what languages that you speak, right? So maybe I speak Afrikaans, but maybe I'm a beginner. So I could add that here. And then of course, if I did it by mistake, I can remove that. But you can also write your bio, right? And in the future, it's not ready yet, but you'll be able to tell us your interests. And so by doing that and collecting this interest, what we'll be able to do in the future is build a very powerful recommendation engine, similar to the one used on places like YouTube or, Netflix, for example. So that what we can do in the future is as soon as you join Journaly and just tell us what languages you speak and what interests you have, we can hopefully show you only posts from people who you would genuinely like to meet in real life, people who you would talk to in your native language, just because you share the same interests and the same values, right? So that's in the future, but even now, we've done our best with a very basic set of technologies and a sophisticated implementation where it's pretty powerful, right? Because as you can see, we have these pre-selected filters. So the cool thing is you can add multiple filters at once. It's not just one language at a time. So Journaly knows what languages I speak. And so by clicking this, I can toggle that on and off. I can clear these. So immediately, very easy to only see posts in languages I speak or I'm learning. And we have this concept of following people. So I can filter it even more to only seeing posts from people who I follow. Now, of course, I can also clear this so that I'm gonna look at everyone I'm following, even if I don't speak the language. Because, for example, Candace is a friend of mine. She's learning Persian. I'm not learning Persian, but I still like to see what Candace has written. And I think this is super cool. How amazing is this? Like just seeing posts in Persian. And you can see here that I actually already commented on this particular post. I could edit that or I could delete it. And so I love it. And so, like I said, already, this is pretty powerful because now that I have all these selected, when I click on the topic filter, you'll see that these are all available to me. However, if I clear this and I just choose, for example, Spanish, well, now it's only going to show me, see, these are all the posts, the topics that are not available. So no one's written about comedy in Spanish. So I can make sure that I save my time, right? I'm only going to see posts or topics rather that match my filters. And I love it. So, and of course you can do a string search, right? So let's say we go, all right, I speak English. That's my native language. So that's a language where I can provide a lot of feedback. And maybe I'm super interested in education, which is true. So these are all posts in English that are about education and maybe other topics as well. And we see this topic here of LWT, learning with text, and Tom has written about that. Maybe I want to see if there's more. So if I do LWT, as a string search, well, look, now I see there are 4 posts in English that are going to be about LWT because we're actually grabbing the data from the body of the post. So that's a quick tour of the dashboard. And by the way, if we just go to page 2, we can already see these are getting comments, but these are newer posts because they're day 1. So here we are to page 2, and even on page 2, you'll see that almost every single post has feedback. 10 comments, 29 comments, 1 comment, 26, 3, 10, 12, and just a couple of posts that haven't gotten feedback yet. But again, as these communities grow, that's going to get better and better. But as you go to page 3 and onwards, it's actually fairly common to see posts with 44 comments. We sometimes even get 70, 80 comments. Right now, there are about 200 or 300 comments per day being posted on the platform. And again, this is before announcing it to the world. So I just want you to know that over time, our ultimate goal is going to be to build new stuff that helps every single person get feedback. So we can use data science to actually, collect data in a sophisticated way that helps us figure out which posts are new but don't have feedback yet. So we can then push those out to people and recommend them to people that can give those people feedback. We're also going to build out things that allow you to request feedback from people that you know and have a relationship with, but that's all coming in the future. So really quickly, we have my posts here. You can see your drafts. I do a lot of testing, but also ones I published. So we go in here, we can see this is my post. It was actually the very first post on Journaly on July 30th. And people have really kindly given me all kinds of feedback here, right? And so it's really cool just to see this. And first and foremost, you'll notice that the comments I get, they live exactly where they belong. I don't have to scroll down to the bottom, although I can, and I've gotten, feedback here from Paige in this example, but most of the comments, they live right where they belong. And that was the absolute priority for me because I shouldn't have to scroll up and down figuring out where did it belong. I should be able to click on a comment and I should be able to see exactly what was said, where it was belonging. And I can then respond. So you'll see that all these highlights, they're actually threads. They're not just single comments. So I can say, thank you, great point. And then I could post this response, right? And I can also say thank you. So I could click on this heart and that would indicate saying thank you. And then as you see down here, every post has a little profile of the author. And you can see I've received 2 thanks and I've written 7 posts. So This is really, really cool. And the other thing is that I have the ability to edit my post because, I'm getting feedback. So maybe I want to update my post. If I edit the post and, I clearly address this comment. So this sentence here is going to change. We actually wrote a diffing algorithm that will analyze all the changes and it will see if they intersect with any of the comments. And what we do at the moment is we assume that if I changed this here, then I probably addressed this comment. Either way, we can no longer display the comment because the text changed completely. So then that will go into outdated. So that even after I update my post and improve it based on my feedback, I'll never lose those comments and I can always come back and reference them in the future. Now, real quick, you can go to your own profile and you can see here, mine's a little empty because it's missing a bio, but even now it looks kind of beautiful, but maybe we go to somebody else, right? So for example, Lindas Linguas has been very active. So look at that. Linda has written 10 posts and she has received 84 thanks, right? So this really helps us see, wow, Linda is a very active community member, but she's also receiving a lot more thank yous than she's writing posts, which means that she's really contributing to our community. So in the future, we could do things like create badges and things that reward members of Journaly who are really, helping us reach that goal of making sure that everyone gets feedback. And again, I can click on Linda's profile here. I can see, look at this, she has her bio, she's a beta user, she's got a badge for writing 10 posts or more, and I can see all the other stuff that she has written. And if I go back, maybe I want to follow Linda because she's obviously writing a lot of really cool content. Now, finally, I'll really quickly show you that if you go to new post, like I say, this is a preview, you can see live preview of your post. Choose your language, you can choose up to 5 topics, you can upload an image and again, see the preview. And if I start typing, and then if I go to my posts, come back later, we actually auto-save that until you click publish. And of course, I could save this as a draft and then you'll see that it's in my draft. So at any point I can come back, edit it, publish the draft. And that's basically it. So thank you all so much for watching. This is a little bit long, but I really hope you like this. And I can't wait to see what you're gonna write about. And most of all, I can't wait to see the communities that you will develop. In the future, we're gonna have so many new features. And imagine if one day we could tell you, guess what? There are 5 people in your city who are learning or speak the languages that you are learning or speak, and that also are interested in the exact same things as you. We could facilitate that type of in-person community building as well as online. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you over on the platform.